another edition of Wrestling with Faith, the wrestling sessions. And I'm pleased to say on this volume, we've got none other than UK's very own Smashing Mike. Mike, how are you doing, brother?
I'm all good, my man. What are you saying?
Excellent. Yeah, mate. Honestly, on behalf of myself and everybody who's going to see this as well, God bless you, mate. Really, really appreciate you taking the time out this evening to be on the podcast. So, most important question I'm going to ask you tonight, my friend, how is Smashing Mike doing?
Right now, he's all good. Right now, he's relaxed, he's chilled, and looking forward to this podcast. That's what he's talking about.
Excellent. Well, let's not waste any time. Let's go straight into it. So, Smashing Mike, obviously, me and you have had a little bit of a sort of email message tennis on Twitter over the last few weeks. Really appreciate you accepting the invite to come onto the show. And obviously, I've been looking at the videos. You and I have had a chat off air. Then I've already interviewed one of your esteemed colleagues, one of your fellow UK wrestlers as well. I want to hear tonight about Smashing Mike. Where did it all begin? Your love affair with this crazy business that we love to watch called wrestling.
Do you want to be surprised? It was my dad.
Listen,
if you said some of the things you grew up with, wrestling was like the thing. It was wrestling. Like, wow. I've been told I even watched it in my mother's womb. That's how big, that's how mad it was. I like literally because I had two older brothers as well.
Right.
We all watched wrestling. And think about it, I was born in 93.
Yeah.
So the late 90s, wrestling was massive in the UK. I don't think people understood how big it was for kids. Like, we could go to school on a Monday. Yo, do you remember? Because remember it was WCW and WWF at the time.
Monday Night Wars? Yeah.
Best era. I'm sorry, I might be biased, but it's the best era.
Yeah, I'll jump on that bias train with you, man, because I'm there with you on that one. It's just the greatest era of wrestling, isn't it? So obviously you got obviously your dad got you into it. So and obviously you got the Monday Night Wars. Let's go back to Dad. What's Dad's involvement in wrestling then?
He comes to all my shows. I kind of have a good I love my parents, my dad, my brothers, and my sister. We're best for me, my sister, best friend, and my boys. They like to come to a lot of my shows. There's one time before the pandemic, I bring like 30 people. I did. Then all of a sudden the pandemic happened, didn't
it? Yeah. And it slowed a lot of things down for a lot of UK promotions as well as US promotions in Japan, the world over. All the promotions, all the indie promotions, and all these ladders that people are aspiring to climbing onto to get to the next gen, to get to the next part. It just came to a grinding halt, didn't it? And as we saw, being WWE fans or AEW fans, Impact, NWA, New Japan, stadiums, man. Where were the crowd? Do you know what I mean?
I'm sorry to say this. Maybe it's me. Wrestling, it ain't the same without the fans. You just need the fans.
It's in. But you know what? Hats off, man, to everybody who actually put on a show, because it must be so hard to do it when there's nobody giving you heat or when there's nobody cheering for you, because whether you're getting absolutely pelted or whether you're getting absolutely loved, as long as you're getting a reaction, you're doing the right thing.
That's the right thing. And also, think about it, because I wrestle, and with the crowd, and you're taking a bump, it don't hurt much. So imagine the crowd, there's no crowd, you're taking a bump, you will feel it more now. You're like, oh, gosh.
Trying to put a brave face on it, man. So that's great. So all your family come to all your shows, obviously pre-pandemic, and obviously once we eventually get out of this, whatever this stage is at the moment, I'm assuming they'll be coming back to all your shows as well and cheering you on and supporting you.
They still do.
Man, that's brilliant stuff. Excellent. And obviously, let's go back to the Monday Night War. So obviously, you're a kid growing up at school, and you and your mates are obviously like, whoa, did you see that on WCW? Did you see that on WWF, as it was known at the time? Who were your big inspirations at that young age? Who do you think? Yeah,
I always say that these are my five, and I'll tell you why. Like, at the time, The Rock.
Yep.
No order. This is no order. The Rock, Stone Cold, Sting.
Yes.
DDP.
Yes.
Goldberg. Those are my five.
Man.
And the crazy thing at that time, like, I'm sorry, this is I don't think I understand how big it was back then. Because remember the video games and then Nintendo
Yes.
64,
Oh,
PS1. Oh, like I had all of them, the rest of action figures. I had this. So me and my friend, tell you a short story. It's funny. I had the WCW belt. My friend had the WWF belt. And at the time we did the unification.
oh
And we
mate.
had the wrestling match in my yard. I lost. He beat me by the walls of Jericho. He did.
You're tapping out all the way, man. So wait a
Dude, I
minute, hang
can't
on a minute.
lie.
Are we saying that Smashing Mike broke through the forbidden door before anybody else did, mate? Is that what we're
Listen,
saying?
there before everyone was going to the crowd. I did it in my living room with my best friend at the time. Like literally, we made a little like the ring was the rug.
Yes, mate. Yeah.
And like what I tried to do, I tried to start with a jump start, like trying to hit him with my belt, be ducked.
Mate, going straight in for the heel turn straight away, mate, with the belt. Loving it.
Those were the times, man.
Yeah, simpler times, man. So obviously you've got your faves growing up in the Attitude Era, and then obviously Smashing Mike, little Smashing Mike is growing up. He's getting older. He's becoming an adolescent. He's becoming a young man. At which point did you think, do you know what? I'm going to take this another level further. I'm going to take this one step further into either training, and then if I like the training, I'm going to do some promotions. Where did it all come from there?
So like at the time, I always wanted to do it as a kid, but in England, when I did my research at the time, it was so far. I'm from London, West London. And it was far, like Midlands. And you're talking about a guy that's 15, 16, 17. You can't travel there. I didn't have a job. I was in college, but during that time, I was in boxing.
Right. Okay.
I used to do boxing from 13 to 18. I trained it when I was 13 to 16. 16 to 18, I had some amateur belts. And I was in the Frank Bruno Boxing Academy as well.
Wow.
Yeah, for 2 years past, personal training, gym instructing, media, all of that I did. But I was still watching wrestling at the time. But at that time, when I was 16, 17, I was a mega fan of a company called TNA.
Yes.
Like I'm talking about when TNA, how I started with TNA. It used to be on Bravo TV, remember?
Mate, I did 100% because ECW used to be on that as well back in the day.
Yes. Yeah. So I remember, as you know, Monday Night Wars, Sting was my guy at the time. So I was chilling at home. My dad goes, Dad, Mike, come here. I'm like, what's up? He goes, Sting's here. I was like, what's this company? So I remember this, how I first saw TNA. It was Sting facing Jeff Jarrett and Lex Luger, and everyone ballistic.
Yeah.
Everyone could remember at the time what happened with Lex Luger. So no one saw him for years. But at the same time, Sting had this partner, and he's the biggest star, and in my top 10 all the time, AJ Styles. So I was watching AJ when no one else was watching AJ. At the time when everyone was watching WWE, I was watching AJ in 2003.
Yeah. Brilliant.
I
And do you know
seen
what?
the way his career evolved, and you're like,
Mate, do you know, back in them days when TNA, if I remember rightly, that era was the six-sided ring?
yes.
Now, X Division was what it was all about back then. So you had like AJ versus CD, Christopher Daniels, the Fallen Angel. Then Samoa Joe came in.
Yeah.
And then you had all these other guys. Remember Loki as well?
Yes.
Loki
Chris
was a hard
Sabin.
flag. Chris Sabin, yeah. P.D. Williams as well.
B. Williams, Alex Shelley.
Alex Shelley.
Was nuts.
Man, Motor City Machine Guns, yeah. And I remember when I first saw P.D. Williams and I first ever saw the Canadian Destroyer, I was like, dude.
Best move ever at the time I saw. I was like, who's going to kick out of that?
Yeah, I was like, wrestling moves aren't going to get any better than that. That is just insane. Do you know what I mean? And obviously, nuts. AJ Styles, do you know what? He's never dropped a beat since, man. Do you know what I mean? He's just looks after himself well, and just the guy knows his craft, doesn't he? The guy really knows his craft. So you're watching TNA. Sting's in there versus Double J, Jeff Jarrett, the big heel at the time, the king of the mountain. And what was going through your mind then when all this came back?
Like, because at the time I was still watching WWE, but there's this new promotion. I was like, oh gosh, man, like it was just a style. I was watching WWE, but I kind of drifted off. I was still watching it, but I was like, oh, this ain't what like it used to be. Then I was TNA. But back then, my favorite wrestler at the time was Kurt Angle, and one of my top 5 all time. So when he came to TNA, at the time, my dream match in wrestling was Joe and Angle. When they got announced, I was like, I was on ballistic. But the only thing is, I was in school back then, and there's no such thing as Sky Plus, so you couldn't record it.
Yeah.
So I missed it. But I don't want to say unfortunately. I don't want to say thankfully. It's funny. I was ill one time,
Yeah.
so I was at home, and they replayed Genesis 2006 on Sky. I was like, yes. So I watched it. I was like, this is what I wanted as a fan. You know, that fan just comes into you. But sorry to go over. To start, when I started boxing, after that, I did amateur wrestling as well for like a couple 2 years. So I still had that. Cut the long story short, I had a little bit of accident on my moped I did in 2017. Bam. But I said to myself, nah, I need to go back to boxing. I don't want to just lift weights. On Instagram, it was like, oh, Hustle Wrestling. I was like, okay. 45 minutes away from my house. I'm like, this is 2018, this was. I was like, let me go there. So I drove there, took my sister, and went there. So let me just introduce myself. So I met Sid Scala, and I asked him what's it about. And he's like, yeah, you're more than welcome. And I said, at the time, I said, I pre-booked to go a weekend away with me and my friends to go Newcastle. I did.
Right.
So I said, I come back in September. He said, no, come back the week after. I was like, yeah, you know what? I'll be there. So I started in August. I stepped in the wrestling gym, August 2018.
Wow. What was that like then compared to, obviously you said you'd done the boxing, sort of young adult into an adult, you've been on and off with the boxing for a few years. What was the gym like from boxing in terms of what it was like doing wrestling?
Well, when it comes to boxing, it's like you need to earn your respect. Like out of nowhere, this guy comes in, they look at you, then the way you get your respect, you have to do some sparring. In wrestling, you gotta respect people straight away, like shake your hand, this and that. So basically, in boxing, you mean your business, like your craft, innit? But in wrestling, people are like, yeah, nice to meet you. But at the time, I was like, I'm here to do wrestling. I didn't really want to associate with people because I had a little bit of a obstacle with boxing and amateur wrestling. So I was like, no, I'm just gonna be here. I'll shake people's hand. As soon as I finish, I'm out. I just want to focus on my wrestling. Then I started to open up more, where it's like in a business, say hello, set up the ring. Because I used to get there early, on time, and leave straight away. So I didn't know about setting up the ring, how important it was.
Yeah.
Then since like it's important to set up the ring and this and that, I was like, you know what, I'll do that. And I saw how important it is, and the rest is history, sir.
Fair play. So, like, when you go back to the how important it felt to be part of setting up the ring and putting the sort of training together, did that help you bond with others around you in the gym? And did it help sort of make you? Did it feel a bit more sort of family, and it start to feel a bit more natural just to open up and just be, not just the shy guy who sort of comes in, goes. Did it sort of help bring your natural character out?
To be honest, I wasn't shy. I just wanted to be my business. Go to the wrestling and just bounce. Really, I always said that to everyone. I was just being honest. But I said, you know what? People were being nice to me. They're shaking my hand. They're helping me out. I said, let me just open up to them more. So as I open up to them more, people started to notice I have a mouth. I'm just loud. I'm just in general. So how can I have a reputation in wrestling? They kind of clock me. So like, oh, so you're smashing? I'm like, yeah. They're like, yeah. He's got a mouth, doesn't he? But in a good vibe.
Yeah, that's got to be a good vibe, hasn't it, mate? Do you know what I mean? Absolutely. And also as well on that, so 2018, you start the training. When did you get your first break at being part of a show?
Yeah, so I said to my friends, I'm going to start wrestling. They were happy because they knew I was a big wrestling fan. But I said to them, within 1 year, that time, I'm going to have my debut. So Hustle had their first show I attended in October 2018. And I said, I'm going to work my way to do it. So I had a Rumble match. It was a Hustle show in 2019, February the 2nd. Then Sid, 2 weeks prior to that, says, "Hey, mate, we got a spot for the Rumble. You want to be in?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll be in." Done it. He went ballistic to me. He said, "Mike, aren't you happy with what you did?" I'm like, "Yeah." He said, "No, no, no, no." He said, "What was that?" I was like, I started to enjoy it. A week after, he goes, "Mike, we're having our next show. You want to make your debut?" I called everyone. I called my family. I called my friends, my boys. I'm like, "Listen, the 30th of March, I'm going to have my wrestling debut." And I remember when it got advertised, Smashing Mike making his debut, I had like people from boxing, amateur wrestling, high school, college, family, like, because everyone knew as a kid I was a wrestling fan. So to see me do it, they're like, "Oh, Mike's actually doing it." And the buzz was just going crazy. It was the 30th. So I had my experience February the 2nd, 2019, but my official debut with Tate Mayfair.
Behave. Well, we know Tate
Yes,
on
Tate Mayfair.
Wrestling with Faith, man. Yeah, we know Tate Mayfair. That was your debut then against Tate.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, it's in. So how was that then? Like, obviously 1-on-1, I'm assuming. So it's not a tag match. This is a singles match.
Singles.
Brilliant, man. So, like, take me through that. I mean, how long was the match on for? What did it
Let me
feel
tell
like?
you
What
this.
was the buzz, man?
It was buzz because I bring about, I think, like 15 people. Could have been more, but at the time, some of my friends had a new job, so they couldn't get the time off and this and that. So I bring 15 people, and I'm like, "Yeah, this is mine. I'm gonna have fun," because I'm like, "Yes, the fan is coming in, not the rest of the fan." So we had like 8 minutes we did, and like Tate made me drill stuff like to do. So he had a promo. The idea was he had a promo called the Tate Mayfair Lounge, innit?
Yes.
He had a promo, and he was calling out one wrestler. I come out, the song comes out. Who's this guy? I come out, and the room exploded. Like my friends and family, because they was selected. They went around the place, so it made it more louder.
Wow.
And they exploded. And I'm like, I'm wearing glasses. I am. So no one doesn't see my eyes, but I wanted to wear glasses.
Right.
I did. I come in, I had to do a promo, and it was basically a squash match. It was. And when I won, the place went ballistic. To this day, my friends and my family still talk about it. And because I hit the pounce. And my dad, and I've been told to this day, my dad said, "Like father, like son," and everyone started laughing.
What, he shouted that, like,
Yeah,
during the
I didn't hear it because I'm in my
brilliant.
wrestling mojo.
Yeah, of
So,
course. Yeah.
and he goes, "Like father, like son," and Sid, Tate, and everyone's like, "Mike, oh, that was amazing!" Like, I was happy, and I wasn't nervous. I was thinking, no, I wasn't nervous. I was feeling like, nah, this is the kid, like when he was 5 years old, 6, 7, watching it. Now he's in the ring doing it. I'm like, oh, a dream came true. But another story happened there. This will motivate me to stay more. Gabriel Kidd was there. He had a match against. He had a tag match. I forgot who his partner was, and against Pretty Deadly. So he saw my match, and he grabbed me aside. He's like, "Mike, what was that like? What?" He's like, "What?" He started going ballistic. He's like, "Mike, make sure you don't quit. I see the potential. Don't quit." I was like, "Wow, this guy don't know me like that," and he's praising me. I was like, "Thank you, sir." And he kept saying, "No, no, Mike, this was terrific." I was like, "Wow, thank you so much for that, man." The guy just met me that day.
Wow.
Literally that day.
You see, when your family and friends praise you, it's great, isn't it? But you think it's very rare that your family and friends are going to dog you and say, "Actually, you stumped the place out that night." But when a total stranger who's already in the industry that you're working with and you're trying to cut your teeth and prove yourself comes up to you and gives you praise like that, it must have been a massive, massive blessing. And it must have been a massive buzz for you to obviously think,
Big buzz.
do you know what? Yeah, let's carry on doing this. So, what promotions have you worked for then? Obviously, in the time that, well, since 2019.
Okay, from now, so I've been a lot. Hustle, drop kicks, UBW. I was a champion in there, the Young Lions champion. And it was the quality of matches I was putting in were nuts. WrestleForce, I've even done a pre-show for Progress.
Get in.
Yeah, I did. So what happened was Tate done it with another wrestler, and I was a ring crew. This was the day after I wrestled Gabriel Kidd. So
Wow.
I was one of Gabriel Kidd's last opponents before he went to Japan.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
He did, and we had a good match. Bring a couple people then. Then Tate had a pre-show match with some other guy called Rudy Ryan, another talented guy, and I said, "So I'm going to do it." 6 months, like August, September, 3 months later, said message. I was supposed to go somewhere else to wrestle for Falling Star, and he came aside. He said, "Mike, wait here, yeah." He's tell you something. I'm like, "Yeah, let me have a shower quick." Come back. He goes, "Mike, you're on the pre-show. We're at Progress." I was like, "Wow." I'm like, "That's 6 months into my debut."
That is insane.
Done it with another guy called Adam Ralph, and me and him were having chemistry in training, like mad chemistry. It was one of them ones when we were training, everyone will stop and watch us and applaud us.
Oh, get in.
Like, literally applaud. Then he said, "You two on the pre-show." And he said, "Don't say nothing yet." And at the time, I was thinking, this ain't going to happen because I've been told a lot of things with boxing, amateur wrestling. Yeah, Mike, you're going to do this. And it never came through. So my hopes wasn't up. I was like, this ain't happening. It kicked in when he said, "Yeah, you lot do it." And you said, "Do your match." I was like, "Whoa, damn, it actually is happening." So me and Adam was on the pre-show. This was October the 27th, 2019. Had a match. And when we came back, people were like, for a pre-show, that was so loud. Like,
wow.
Loud. And after, I was everywhere. I didn't have during that Christmas time, I was wrestling every weekend. So Hustle, drop kicks, pre-show Progress, UBW, Falling Star, Wrestle Force. I've done so many. It's just come to my head. I done a lot. Jurassic Pro, a new one. They are in. Yeah, that's one. Done so many. Like, just come to top of my head now.
But that's massive, though. The fact that within 6 months of your debut, you're doing the pre-show for Progress. And we all know where that can lead to. You know, its affiliation with the WWE network and things like that as well. So we all know where being on Progress can be a massive green light for a lot of indie circuit wrestlers. And like you say, you're getting sort of from that, you're creating so much noise in a pre-show. So from that, where did it start to what other doors became opened up from Progress then?
More opportunities were from wrestling promotions, wrestling some good guys. So what happened was I was having this feud at UBW organically. It just happened organically. It wasn't designed, it wasn't planned, it was organically against one guy. Then the guy was, so I made this debut UBW, May the 5th, 2019, wrestled this guy. He beat me by cheating. Then I came back. The winner faces this. Winner has a match. I won. Then I face him for this champion because he was champion at the time. He cheated to beat me. Then the fans started to get on my side because they saw the heart I was putting in. Then they're like, "Yeah, we want Mike against this guy for the title." And it happened at UBW's biggest show, Mania 3. This was 2 weeks before the pandemic happened. So I created the buzz, and me and this guy had a match. First match was all right, but you can see I was super green. Then the second match, so like we tore the place up. I won the belt, and the crowd erupted. We was on first. The crowd erupted. Then guess what happened? Pandemic happened.
Pandemic happened. So you've got that big momentum building up. You get the title win, and then the pandemic happens. Talk us through being an indie wrestler that's literally on the crest of a wave during the pandemic. What happens when you literally you just have to change everything that you know and do, and how have you managed to cope through that?
Well, thankfully, I'm a big believer in the Lord Jesus Christ. So me and my
Amen.
family, if I don't have any wrestling shows on a Sunday, me and my family once a week we gather together, read the Bible. It's right here.
Get in. Amen.
It's here.
Yeah.
And I grew up with it as well. So we do that. So that helped. And at the
Got
same
the King James here, man.
that.
Well worn King James. Amen.
Yeah. And at the same time, I grew up with these other friends. So I studied wrestling during the pandemic. Like there's a difference between watching as a fan and I was studying. When I was going both phases. So early pandemic, I was studying Ring of Honor. There's a time I was studying the cruiserweights. There's a time I said, let me study British wrestling, like World of Sport. Because my dad was a big World of Sport fan. So I studied that. So I was going on the phase. If you told me the 5 wrestlers I studied the most during the pandemic, or 2, Bret Hart and Dean Malenko. Like I was watching them like all the time.
The man of 1,000 halls, man, Dean Malenko. Yeah,
yes, I was like studying because remember I did amateur wrestling, so I wanted to keep that style in me. And remember, Dean Malenko was known as a shooter.
Yes.
So I wanted to take a little bit and tweak it to my style. And at the same time, I have these close boys. Everyone knows them in wrestling because they mention them. I don't. They're my close boys called Axe and Kaz. They're my boys. I've known them for like 10 years, over 10 years. And we used to do boxing. But we go gym together. So during that process, we were training outside when there was no gyms, like running, a lot of boxing, body weights, calisthenics. When the gym came, was going back to the gym. So when training came back, everyone started to notice, oh, damn, Mike, you're putting on a lot of size, aren't you? And I didn't realize it because at the time I was just eating, like eating.
Like a lot of people
like bats.
Yeah.
They just put on size. I just put on like size. There's like, Mike, you'll eat, like, look at the size. I'm like, really? And I was training my friends. So we were lifting, like training. Wrestling came, we were training again. I was lifting so much I was. So me and my friends were like benching 125. He was benching 156, 155, squatting like a lot, 220 deadlifts we were doing. So we kept it like a bond, like twice a week we're trained together. And at the same time, other wrestlers like shout them out. Tom Kyle, one of my best friends, and Clarence, Sassy Bear, we will do a lot of Zoom calls together. Not at the same time, maybe I'll do one at a time. We do a lot of Zoom calls together. And my brother, because big wrestling fan, we do a lot of Zoom calls together and we'll study wrestling. We say, Mike, this would be good for you. Same as Tate. We're like, this would be good for you. No, Tom, this would be good for you. Sassy, this would be good for you. Like, we all say, we'll dialect it. Like, what's good about that match? And we watch it as a fan, of course.
Yeah.
So that got me better. Then they said, it's coming back wrestling. I'm like, yes, I'm going to show people. I'm like, because I was getting a buzz before the pandemic. I said, these ain't ready for me now. Plus, I put on more size because I was 82, 80. No. I was 86 kg. Then I came back as 96.
Wow.
And I dropped it to 93. Then everyone saw the difference. And I was like, nah, they ain't ready. I said, they ain't ready. I said, they ain't ready.
Literally going to be smashing with the bulk as well. Like, do you know what I mean?
They ain't ready.
So that's amazing then. So like obviously during the pandemic, you guys are still getting together. You're analysing classic matches, classic wrestlers, what makes them classic, what makes these guys stand out above the rest and things like that. So am I right to assume then that during that period, although obviously it stopped the momentum, the crowds coming to watch you, the promotions being on, did it change your style as a wrestler?
At the time I kind of knew what style I wanted, but I didn't know how to do it and what made sense to it. So I would just bust out just moves in the match. But during the pandemic, thanks to again Tate, Mayfair, Tom Kyle, Sassy Bear, Clarence, I bigged them up a lot. So we'll study and we're saying why they're doing it, what's it for, what's the purpose of the match. So like before, like early, we're looking at our old matches, good or the bad, or the saying, okay. Then I'm thinking now I kind of know what the Smashing Mike character needs to do in that ring. Yeah. I found him now. I'm not saying I know all of him yet, but I found him. The entrance bit was the easiest bit. I'm just being myself. Everyone just loves, I just come out with a buzz. Like, I'm just here, bam. But in the ring, I was thinking, what am I doing? I just bust out moves for the sake of it. And I said, no. Kind of clock what he needs to do in the ring now. That's the reason, if you told me my top 5 influences now in wrestling in the ring, Kurt Angle, Bobby Lashley, Dean Malenko, Bret Hart, Goldberg, for reasons.
Excellent stuff. So you've got your influences, you've studied the matches, you've really, really done your homework, especially during the pandemic. Probably not through choice, maybe, but you've done it, and it's obviously made you a better wrestler. It's made you appreciate, study the art more, all the different types of wrestlers that you've got on there. Your grapplers, your shooters, your powerhouses, obviously your cruiserweights. where did the character of Smashing Mike come from, and what is, or where do you think his story is going to develop?
So this is a funny thing. Everyone's like, where'd you get the name from? I got it from boxing. I did. So when I was competing, I said to my old amateur coach, I said, Coach, give me a name. What's my nickname? He goes, Smashing Mike. I'm like, oh, I like it. So I got that name when I was like 2010, when I was like 15 years old.
Right.
They really take for uses. I used it for social media. I did. I'm like, yeah, it fits. It fits. Then I had my match. I said, what's your name? I'm like, Smashing Mike. They're like, yes, I love it. They're like, keep it. Remember, even gave a kid $6. Like, I love it. I love it. So yeah, I'm like, yeah, this is it. Then I'm like, I know what this guy wants in the entrance. He just comes out, bam, he's there he acknowledged the crowd where he is. He enjoys the atmosphere, but as soon as that bell rings, he means the business.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all about business. Party down the ramp, business in the ring.
Yes.
Yeah, simple as. And that's amazing, that, like, so you've got the character development going. Obviously, it's nowhere near completed its journey. It's still going to be going through that journey as well. Well, to take you back a little bit to things that you just mentioned earlier on, Gabriel Kidd, talk to me about the matches that you had with him, because like you say, he's obviously gone on to Japan, but what was that like, training with, working with, and sitting down and talking with Gabriel Kidd?
It was great because he came up to me, started praising me. Then before the match, I was gonna go to Miami. Was my brother, two of my closest friends, went on holiday. Before I went on holiday, another hustle show happened in July the 27th. It said Smashing Mike and Gabriel Kidd. I was like, It's like, wow. So I'm like, damn it. I said, in Miami, I need to keep on training. I can't just eat that bad. I need to still train. So in Miami, me and my friends, because it's 5 hours difference, I'll still train, do some running. I can't do wrestling training because I want to enjoy my life. So I said, I'll still do some calisthenics, press ups, because I wasn't far from the Miami beach. I'm in South Beach, so they'll have some weights, pull ups, so we do some stuff there. Keep on training.
I was going to mention that. Don't they have all these beach body workout?
Yeah, I was there.
Like, yeah. I was going to say, like, your Bobby Lashley-esque individuals are just there, like, do you know what I mean? Just getting the flex on.
I was there.
Brilliant, man.
So we were from training, all of that stuff. Same time, I was like, yeah, we're going to. Then the Gabriel Kidd match happened July 27th. Bring a lot of my friends. I did because I told them who this guy was. Had a great match. At the time, I was my third match. I was super green. Great experience. I learned a lot, like the Japanese style. Slow it down. Acknowledge the crowd. Had a great match. At the time, I thought it was, and Gabriel Kidd loved it. My coach Scarlett liked it. People loved it, and it boosted me up a little bit more. My confidence. I was always confident within my ability. I'm one of those people. Don't show everything at one time. In the match, you'll see, yeah, this Smashing Mike guy, he's got mad confidence within himself, which I do. I said, let me show you what he's like in the ring.
Man, that's brilliant. What an opportunity as well, though. And obviously, you took it with both hands. And like you say, with stuff like that, when you learn from someone or be in the ring with someone like that, it just makes you sharper. It just makes you appreciate it more, and it makes you work on yourself as well, doesn't it? So, but for all the right reasons, not like to self-criticize, but it's like, yeah, do you know what, man? I've had this opportunity now. Somebody else comes along who's potentially already on that next step up on the ladder. Yeah, I can take him. I can go toe to toe with him as well. So it must give you really, really good confidence to be able to take that next step.
It was fun, man.
Excellent. Also, as well, let's touch upon it, mate, because the Wrestling with Faith podcast is about that. I mean, I came up with the name because people often, when they are taking the journey with Christ, they do wrestle with faith. And obviously, it's no great secret. Wrestling Nerd for Life. I'm never going to make any apologies for it. But I want to talk about your journey with faith. So how did that come about, and how has that influenced you in what you're doing as well in your wrestling career?
Awesome. So, like, for example, I grew up in a Christian household. But both I grew up in Sunday school. One thing I like about my family, my parents, they didn't force me into it. So like they made me experience something called life. So yeah, I went to Sunday school as a kid, loved it. Went, of course, I went a college school, went with the wrong crowd, this and that. But I still going to church at the same time. But I said to myself around 2011, I would dedicate myself more to the Lord. Got my Bible right here. So there's three
Amen.
scriptures. Of course, there's a lot of scriptures. I got like a lot, like a lot, as you can see, like not jotting down.
Yeah, yeah. Like
Like,
mine,
you know,
it's got so many scribbles through it. Yeah.
yeah. So there's three verses that help me the most. Proverbs 16 verses 3. Commit yourself to the Lord and you'll be successful.
Yes.
Another one is, I always tell everyone this. 1 Timothy 4 verses 8. My dad drilled this to me as a kid, and it helps. Physical training is good, but spiritual training does for the mind, body, and soul.
Amen. Absolutely. Yeah.
That helps. And another one is Proverbs 16 verses 9. Let me read this out. Almost got it.
Now you preach, brother. You go for it.
I know it is, but I want to say it accurately instead of saying it the right. I want to say, yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. A man's heart diverts his ways, but the Lord directs his steps. Those verses link to me a lot.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Like those ones. And plus my sister, she does Sunday school as well for the kids.
Brilliant.
Yeah, she does that. So she goes, I go. If I can't make it, I'll do something with my family. Pre-pandemic, because now it was closed. I used to do every Fridays as well. Once a month in my church, it used to be all-night prayer meeting. So I'll get there. It used to be like 10 o'clock to 10 in the night to 5 a.m. So I'll get there around 11, be there at 1 o'clock, like a couple hours, if I can't make it on a Sunday. But in the evening, I'll do something with my family or do something with my sister, whoever's there. In the morning, wake up, pray. Right now, I'm reading the Gospel of Mark.
Brilliant.
Yeah, at the time, because I was reading the Old Testament. Now I finished that, so let me go back to the Gospels.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now I'm reading. I finished Matthew. Now I'm reading Mark, then Luke and John. Then after that, I'll go to reading the other side, like Timothy's, Corinthians, the ones where Paul done 1/3 of the Bible, the New Testament.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, obviously, we know. I think we've all had that. I like to call it our very own road to Damascus moment, where Saul always knew about Christ, but obviously he was brought up in the bad ways, the bad teachings of the Pharisees, and he was, laid out to be this. You're going to be the next big rabbi who's going to lead us. But what you need to do is you need to go out there and kill them, imprison all those Christians. And obviously, we've all had that moment where we've known the love of God. And I think you know it from a child as well. You just know that there's something in there that tells you right is right, wrong is wrong.
Yes.
But you can't quite put your finger on it. And it doesn't necessarily have to come from parents or grandparents, but you just know there's almost like that sort of, for a Marvel wrestling reference, you've got that spidey sense that says, man, if this is wrong, then it can't be right. But we sometimes just still plow ahead. Do you know what I mean? Blindly. And then obviously when we do hit that sort of road to Damascus moment, it's a crossroads for us, isn't it? It's like, well, we can either just stop being us and just submit ourselves to the Lord, or we can carry on being us and let's just see how bad of a job we're really going to make of it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's a good thing. I mean, you're obviously you're well into your New Testament. You say you're on to Mark at the moment, are you? Is that where you're up to now?
Yeah.
Fantastic. I'm going through it on a daily basis before I start work, and I'm into Luke at the moment. Just regarding the past. So yeah, absolutely, yeah. So there's just so much good stuff in there. But I think in terms of like actual scriptures, I mean, look, God says every part of scripture is written based on my influence. I've influenced the scripture to be written. So none of it needs to be written off, whether it's Old Testament or whether it's New Testament. But I think for me, there's so many that sort of stick out and that are relevant to your day-to-day things. But for me, Matthew 6:33, seek you first the kingdom of God and his righteousness and all of these things. I think a lot of people tend to get hung up on the last bit. Oh, right, so if I do this, then I'll get all of these benefits. It's all about me, 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 me. Stop, man. Just listen. If you just seek first the kingdom of God and then just pause and then just do that, it's amazing how many changes I've seen in people's lives, man. When people say to you, how come you're different now? How come you don't go out and do this? How come you just not like, how come you don't talk like this? How come you don't listen to that sort of music anymore or watch those sort of films? People get curious. Did you ever have that growing up? It's like, why have you changed? Why are you the way you are? And did people ever sort of ask you why there was a change?
Yes, yeah. Like at the time, some people was like, "Oh, why? What's up with this? How come you don't do this no more?" I said, first of all, it's not from me, and second of all, because I read the Bible a lot, and a lot of people see the difference with my confidence. Because people think I was like this loud, very confident. No, I wasn't. I was one of the most shyest guys you ever meet in your life. But thankfully, I got wonderful parents that brought me up with the Bible-believing Christian Lord Jesus.
God.
And that's what helped me. And I studied it all the time. So when I was on my way to college, Orpington, Kent, like an hour and a half journey there and back, 3 hours every day, I used to take the Bible with me and read it. And a lot of the boxes, like the national champions, will see when they all go out partying with the girls, this and that. I will say, I'm going to the gym and I'll read my Bible. They're like, how come is that? And I tell them, and they'll make it big, and they're like, yeah, Mike, you look different. I said, no, I'm not different. If it wasn't for the Lord, I'd be a different way. I give it all to him. This ain't me, this is all him.
Testify, man. That's amazing. That, and it's good as well, because that sort of thing, I don't know if you found it, Mike, but for me, it opens up conversations to people who might not necessarily talk about faith or their spirituality or be curious about God, the Bible, Jesus, how it all works, how it all comes together, and how it literally is. It's a living, breathing document. It's a living text. It's not the biggest selling book of all time for nothing. Do you know what I mean? And it doesn't end. You can always go back. And I don't know if you found this as well, and your parents have found this, and your sister, but you go back and you read something, you're like, man, I must have read this about 100 times, and that part of the scripture has never stuck out to me until today. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, yeah, all the time. Another thing I always say to people, they're like, they say, how can you believe in the Lord? I said, okay, I'll give you a better example. I'm like, you can't see the wind, right? You can feel it.
Yes.
That's what I have to say.
Mate, that is a great comeback to that. It's absolutely brilliant. I use a similar thing. It's like, well, you can't see the air you breathe, but it's there, don't you? And it's
yes.
Like, yeah, but what? Yeah, but okay. You know what I mean? It's like,
that's what I say.
I'm not going to beat you over the head with it. Just come back to me when you want to pick up this conversation again, and we'll talk more. Brilliant. I love hearing people's testimonies about Christ. Do you know what I mean? Far more than I love wrestling, but I love hearing people's testimonies about Christ, man. It's just, everyone's just got a different angle on it. It's such a blessing to me, and it's such a blessing to the people who are going to watch the video. Mike, I'm slightly conscious of time, brother, so I'm going to go straight in. I've got a little bit of a pop quiz for you, mate, but I think you've already answered this one. So unlike some wrestlers that I've had on the podcast before who might go, I think you might go straight into this. So, Smashing Mike, congratulations. You are now the captain of a Survivor Series team. You're going up against my Survivor Series team. But first of all, because I'm the one who's doing the podcast, I want to know who your 4 members are, past and present, of any promotion. I don't care who it is, whether they're alive or not. I want your 4 wrestlers who you think will have your back and get you the victory in your Survivor Series team.
Oh, this is a mad question. I've never heard this in my life. Okay. Oh, any era? Like
any era. I don't care who they are. What organization, what promotion, alive or dead. Do you know what I mean? They're in your team.
Bret Hart's one of them.
Yes.
Bret Hart's one. I'm sorry, I'm putting Okada in there. I'm putting Okada in there.
Yeah.
Okada's in there.
Okada, yes.
Yeah,
What a
Okada's
shout.
out.
What a shout.
Yeah, Okada, like he's the man right now. You know what? Okay, I was gonna put that guy, Brian Danielson.
Brian Danielson. Whoa. What a shout. That's a good shout.
Okay, yeah, one more. You know what? I'm gonna go back to someone in the oldies. This is fun but hard. Okay, hold on. Because I just want to pick my favorites. I want to pick people like they never heard of, something like that. Okay. You know what? You won't be surprised I said this. He's came to my head now. Vader.
Big Vader. Get in, mate. Mate, back in the day, I used to love watching the battles with him, Kane, and him and the Undertaker and stuff like that, like the big guys going at it. Yeah, Vader was class, man. The old Vader bomb as well. What a move that
I was
was
watching a lot of Vader matches with Sting, and those are solid matches. The ones in '92 in Starcade, Grand Mega match, and the Flair match. Like, and even the ones in Japan, he was teaming with Bigelow. I think it was against the Steiner brothers. I think it was. That was a solid match, man. So yeah, I want someone different. I can't just pick my favorites. I just want to pick someone
it's
different.
A good show. I've just got one of the Steiner brothers. You remember them 90s wrestling figures where like you just press them down and like they might spring up, or like one of the arms moved to a clothesline. I've just managed to get myself Scott Steiner.
That's my favorite tag team of all time.
Steiner was Scott Steiner back in them days with a mullet. Like how he became from that to Big Papa Pump. What a transition that was.
I don't know. It shocks me is the guy for this side, buses, Frankensteiners, reverse runners.
Yeah.
Right. He was way ahead of his time.
Massively, man, massively. Well, that's a great team that. You probably might smash my team actually. Not for any controversial reasons, but I'm gonna go just purely based on wrestling ability. And I managed to see these two guys go at it live in a 2 out of 3 falls match. Chris Benoit, Kurt Angle. I'm gonna pick. I'm gonna go for someone modern, and I think because he's during the pandemic, man, this guy just put his body on the line time and time and time again in all sorts of crazy matches. Kenny Omega.
And do you say Kenny Omega?
Yeah. And I'm gonna go. Oh man, I'm gonna have to go AJ Styles on that one, man. Do you know what I mean?
That's a good list, you know? That's a dope list. That's a dope list.
I think between us, mate, we create the best Survivor Series ever. Do you know what I mean? Just saying. Do you know what I mean? Definitely. And last one from me, mate. So you've unfortunately, like many talented people, you've been released from WWE. Sorry to hear that, Smashing Mike. However, it's not all bad news because Tony Khan's just got on the blower to you and he signed you up to AEW, which is great. On your debut night, you win the TNT Championship on your debut. You then come out the following week and you say, I'm issuing an open air challenge to anybody in the locker room to come out and challenge me. Who are you hoping steps out to answer that challenge to try and take your TNT belt from you?
I mean, Brian Danielson, straight away.
Mate.
Because I like this style. That's Brian Daniel. Kenny Omega is the man. Like, what he done is not human. Like, that's not human. But Brian Danielson is my type of style. You go in there, there's a thing called the square ring, and you just wrestle.
Yeah.
I'm a wrestling fan. I'm a wrestling fan. Like, if you see my matches, you're just there to tell a story. Me and Brian, I just want to be in there to tell a story with that guy. And let's be honest, when he retires, he's top 5 ever. When he retires.
It just Hall of Famer wherever he goes. I mean, that guy, despite having the serious sort of neck injuries, and he even openly admitted when he first came to AEW, look, I'm not going to slag off my previous employers, but they were just being too careful with me. They were being too careful. He's coming to AEW, mate, and he is just red raw. Like, chest is just red raw. But he's going on for like 20, 30 minutes, an hour in matches, man. And the guy's just not missed a beat, has he? He really hasn't.
He had the match of the year for me last year against Hangman Page. I thought that was the match of the year.
It was epic, mate. Just full on blood and thunder won it, that match as well. Mike, honestly, me and you, we are going to catch up and do this again because we have got so much, brother, to talk about. We
I'm
just
down,
have,
my man.
yeah, so honestly, really, really appreciate it. Last thing from me, my friend, is I literally want you to plug everything and anything where you are, your social media, what promotions are coming up next, where people can get on there. Have you got any merchandise? Anything like that, my friend, the floor's yours. Just plug it uninterrupted.
Yeah, so I'm booked to a lot of shows at the moment, so I got a good match up this week. So WrestleForce in Brentwood in a tag match. So I'm doing a tag. I'm doing a Reese's tag match. In another podcast, we'll talk about that. One of my guys, James Turner, another talented guy. Shout him out. He's good against Mark Chews and Connor Mills. We're tearing that place up. Another one you'll see me because I'm booked in a lot of WrestleForce shows. Check that promotion out, and they got a WrestleForce YouTube channel. You're gonna see a lot of their previous matches, and there's a lot of storylines. So you see backstage promos as well. You'll be entertained. I'm gonna make my debut on another promotion called Ignite against Mark Chews. Watch that one out, and I'm bringing a lot of people for that. I'm already bringing people for that. I'm bringing a lot for that. I am.
Excellent. Ignite, I think I've just, I've added them or they've added me on Twitter as well, man. So yeah, definitely gonna keep on top of that.
I'm having a good one of that, and I've got a lot. There's another one. I can't pronounce the name of the promotion. Can't pronounce it. They're having their first show in Manchester, October the 1st. I can't pronounce the name. Sorry, because I need to just check.
Yeah, go for it, man. You take your time. Floor's yours. You said the first one was WrestleZone, was it?
WrestleForce.
WrestleForce, sorry. And Ignite. And that one is it First? Oh, First Reign. Is it First Reign?
No, that's the Silver Pro, this one.
Oh, let's have a look then. Right, yes. Soft Pro.
A new promotion, you should check them out as well.
Excellent, man. I'm going to get on that and add them.
Yeah. And also, if you don't mind, if I could shout out a couple of wrestlers.
Go for it.
Yeah, because I got love for these lot. Like one of my best friends called Tom Kyle. Watch out for him. Because me and him had a match. I know we had a good time is short. We had a match October the 3rd, and people called it a masterpiece. I remember everyone came up to us and say, "What was that?" Because me and him are best friends. We wanted to make a great match, and people loved it. We're in February now, and people still talk about it to this day. Check him out. Tom Kyle, Sassy Bear, Mark Chews, Evie as well, another little woman wrestler. She's gonna be a good one. Check those wrestlers out.
These are on. I'm looking on Ignite as well. There's a lot going on.
You'll see Tom Kyle. He's on.
Yeah. I'm just looking at that now, man. Just while you was telling us there, there's so much going on there. I'm going to get on the subscribe as well to WrestleForce as well. Just looking at a match, a tweet that you put up on the 9th of October for your opponent Jack Landers as well.
Oh, that's another one. Listen. I know we got time. That
fire away, man. You keep going.
I need to send that to you. It's just that match when I did it. We tore that place up. Everyone's like, "Mike, do you know what you did?" I'm like, "No." They're like, "You had the best match I ever had," and at the time I did. So I had the match with CJ Carter for my belt. That was a great story. But that's another guy you check out. CJ Carter, Jack Landers, those guys. I can say more, but check those guys out.
Fantastic. And let's plug your social media as well, brother. Where can people get hold of you? Where can people try and book you? Where can people see the footage of your matches and things like that?
Well, like I said, WrestleForce, I've been in a lot of their promotions. So you can see a lot of my matches on there. My social media, Instagram is Smashing Mike. You can find me on Facebook, Smashing Mike. And on Twitter, I'm Smashing... I don't know Twitter off by heart. Smashing my _S1.
Yeah, that's the one, buddy. Yeah, that's the one. Excellent. And if people want to book you as well, my friend, can they get a hold of you directly, or would you rather go through your social media?
So social media, I got email. That's one. Smashing, the one you got. Smashing _Mike.com. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. They're the best. They're the best ones.
Fantastic. Well, honestly, Smashing Mike, it has been an absolute pleasure this evening. Really, really appreciate you sort of taking the time out this late evening to chat to me. You and I are going to catch up. We're going to keep in touch. And listen, I'd love to get some invites throughout the year to your promotions as well, man. Keep me posted so I can get that time booked off work and just get down there and, you know, get some interviews with your ringside and things like that, man, and meet the other guys as well. It'd be absolutely class. So please, please,
Bro,
please,
I will
do
love
keep
it.
me in
And I
touch.
promise, I'll make you proud.
Yes, mate. Well, mate, no doubt, mate. It'd just be great to catch up in person and just to see you, just obviously tear it up as well live, mate. It'd be absolutely
I'll
brilliant.
make
So
you proud.
me and you will definitely get that arranged at some point during the year. It just leaves me from Wrestling with Faith to say a big thanks to Smashing Mike. Keep an eye out. Look, all these promotions, Mike's already promoted them. Get on there, add them, subscribe to them on YouTube, subscribe to them as well on all the social medias, and get in. It's at Smashing Mike _S1 on Twitter. God bless you, brother. Really appreciate your time. Take care, brother. Thank you very much.
Loved it.